Hey everyone, back for another day. I don't have Miguel today either. Must still be asleep. I should still be asleep. I've had a day so far. Did not get much sleep at all. I have three cats. They were all just like, we put our Christmas tree up yesterday, so 4 a.m. They were just like, let's fight the Christmas tree, which is fun. I'm wearing my Merry Christmas jumper. It's in fact Eraserhead jumper from the David Lynch film, which I got when I was a teenager and I still love very much. Speaking of cats, hey Alexa, do you want to come say hi? Come say hi. Up you come. Got a cat just down here. Come on, you can jump. You want picked up. Kitty. Come here to join us. Okay, let's have a look. I very much may just completely fail at this challenge today because my brain is not with it today. Okay, supply stacks. The expedition, well, I guess we're going to use stacks. The expedition can depart as soon as the final supplies have been unloaded from the ships. Supplies are stored in stacks of marked crates, but because the needed supplies are buried under many other crates, the crates need to be rearranged. Okay. The ship has a giant cargo crane capable of moving crates between stacks. To ensure none of the crates get crushed or fall over, the crane operator will rearrange them in a series of carefully planned steps. After the crates are rearranged, the desired crates will be at the top of each stack. The elves don't want to interrupt the crane operator during this delicate procedure, but they forgot to ask her which crate will end up where, and they want to be ready to unload them as soon as possible so they can embark. They do, however, have a drawing of the starting stacks of crates and the rearrangement procedure, which is our puzzle input. Okay, so we're doing some parsing today. So this is our crate setup, and then we've got moves. Okay. In this example, there are 3 stacks of crates. Stack 1 contains 2. Stack Z is on... Crate Z is on the bottom. Crate N is on top. And then MCD, P. Okay, makes sense. Then the rearrangement procedure is given. In each step of the procedure, a quantity of crates is moved from one stack to a different stack. In the first step of the above rearrangement procedure, one crate is moved from stack 2 to stack 1, resulting in this configuration. I just realized that I do not have my headphones plugged in to my machine because I just heard some stuff out of my computer speakers thanks to Follow's big Bango Gasos, maybe, and Twinson. Okay, so we move one crate from 2 to 1, and we move the top one, and then we move 3 from 1 to 3. Okay, so they're moved one at a time. So the first crate, we go doop, doop, doop. Okay, that makes sense. We're just doing stacking and unstacking. Finally, one crate is moved from stack 1 to stack 2. Elves just need to know which crate will end up on the top of each stack. In this example, the top crates are C, M, and Z. So we combine that together. Okay, so parsing is going to be maybe the most difficult thing here. It's really a matrix transpose. Like, we want to have... We really want to take this thing here and flip it. I don't think there's a nice matrix transposition function in the standard library, and I don't have one in my library. So maybe instead we'll just read from the bottom up and put them into stacks. So we can have a vector of stacks, and we'll start here, and we can maybe calculate the character position. So we'll get a string of each of these lines, right? And then we can calculate the character position for each stack, which is going to be, so we start off at 1, and then we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to start at 1 and then skip 3 characters and that should work because we can't just split on an empty space, right? Because some of these have no crates on them. So I think that's what I'll do. I'll get all of the lines. I'll shove it into a vector because then it's just easier. I'll start here. For each line, I'll calculate the position I need in the string, push it onto a stack until I get to the top, and then it's just a case of like parsing this, which we don't even need to use a regex for this. We can just split it on spaces because yeah, that should work, and then just get the 1, 3, 5 elements and then run this. Okay, this is a lot more involved than the last few puzzles. This is when it starts getting like you're gonna have to do some work. One question is how many crates do I actually get? Okay, so 9 rows, columns even, in my actual input. Okay, it's all fixed with, yeah, so we can just calculate the positions. It should work. And they really picked the day when I have not got any sleep to give us the first like puzzle you actually really have to think about. Okay. So we're going to do get lines and shove that into a vector. Use get lines of our input. Whoops. To std vector. Okay. So now we've got a vector. So now we're going to find the position that we need, which is going to be our end. The end of the stacks is going to be an empty space? Yeah, empty space. So we can do std views, std ranges, find if, or just find in lines the first empty line. Algorithm. So this should give us the this line here, so that we're working with both this input and our actual input. Maybe we can just get this last character. Oh, they've actually like included spaces in here. So our number of stacks is going to be minus end. So we'll walk back and dereference it to give us the string, and it's we'll call it stack numbers. So that gives us this line here, and then because there's a space here, we will walk back twice from the end. Equals and stack numbers minus 1. So this should give us the number of stacks which we need to allocate as a string, so we can convert that to an integer. So now we should have either 3 or 9 in here. Now this is pointing to here, so we want to do walk backwards along here. Maybe we can do a reverse subrange. So for each line in std ranges, subrange from the beginning of our lines up until end. Pipe twisted views reverse. Try that. So that should give us back. Now we should be walking along our lines from this point upwards. Now we want a vector of stacks. Oops. It's a vector of stack of characters. And this is going to be our stacks. And it's going to be of size number of stacks, either 3 or 9. Okay, so for each line, then for each stack, we'll do an enumerate because we're going to need this index. Which way around is enumerate again? Is it stack index in TL views enumerate? Enumerate our line. No, our stacks. So now we've got our each stack and each index. So our stack, we're going to push line. Now how do we calculate our index? Auto line index is going to be 1 plus I times 3, because we skipped 3. Is that right? So if I is 0, then it's going to be 1. If I is 1, then it's going to be 3 plus 1, which is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know, times 4, is it? Yeah, 5. Okay. I times 5 plus 1. Oh, as the result, yeah. Let's try this, and like I said, my maths is bad on a good day. This is not a good day. So that should give us the line index of here, here, here. And then we're going to push that onto our stack. Okay, and then we're going to do, that should have preloaded all of our stacks, and then we're just going to run this code. So, hey Black Tomcat, how's it going? So our end should still be pointing to here, so we can just increment it a couple of times to get to there. So we can maybe loop over those as well for auto line in ranges, oops, subrange from end plus 2 should put us there to lines, the end of lines. Okay, so we should now be looping over these lines, and we can just split that on a space. If you split line on space, we'll just stick this in a vector. Hey, Antonio Coding. We're doing all right. I'm very tired today. I did not get much sleep, so we're We're trying our best. We're trying our best. Okay, so then we're gonna do from 1 to move some number from there. So let's just stick these in variables so that I can brain. N is gonna be input 1, from is gonna be input 3, 2 is gonna be input 5. Okay, and then we're going to, for each of n, we're going to pop from here and push to there. Now, one thing about stack in C++ is that pop does not return you the value, because it has to copy the value on the way out the stack when you pop it. And if the copy constructor threw an exception, then there's no way to recover that data. So stack.pop in C++ does not return a value. So we're going to do top equals stacks from, I need to make all of these s2i because these are all strings. Oops. So that's going to be our top stacks from dot pop, and then stacks to dot push top. So this should, this many times, pop from the from stack and push to the to stack. And then we're gonna take all of our stacks, and for each stack, we're going to return stack.top, and then we're going to convert that to a string, and that should be our answer. All right, I have absolutely no faith that this will work, but let's build it and see what happens. We need to configure our cache. The syntax with the pipe is, yeah, it's called a pipe syntax. So basically what it does is takes stacks and passes it, pipes it through to here. It's kind of like a Unix pipe, you know, like if you're in Bash and you're piping data between different commands. It's the same kind of thing. We're saying we want to take stacks, then we want to transform it, then we want to convert it to a string, or you know, get lines. We want to get the lines, and then we want to convert it to a vector. And you know, we could do more things in here. We could be like, take our stacks, transform them by taking the top of each one, then filter on the ones which are, you know, whatever, then take the first 5 and then convert that to a string, whatever. It's overridden, yeah. This is standard in C++ 20 with ranges. Some of these are like std_views transform is in the standard library. TL2 is in my own ranges library, but it's going to make C++ 23. I believe that std_enumerate is going to make C++ 23 as well. I'm not sure about getlines. I can't remember if anyone actually submitted a paper on that. Difference between C# and C#, C, and C. there. So C++ is, for the most part, it was based on C. It's not a strict superset of C, but it's mostly compatible with C and adds a lot of machinery on top for functional programming, for object-oriented programming, for building abstractions, which you can then reuse in your code. Whereas C Sharp is, and C++ still runs like directly on your hardware. It compiles down to a regular binary, which you can then run, and it doesn't have a runtime or a garbage collector or anything like that. C Sharp, on the other hand, is more like Java. Well, it has a runtime sitting underneath it. There's a lot of additional protections which you get by running in a sandbox, essentially. Yes, C++ is essentially Microsoft Java. Is one way to put it. So what is going to go wrong here? STI no overloaded function. Could not convert from char. Because this is just a single character. Is there std C to I, or what's it even called? Converting a std A to I. That takes a... You know what? I'm just gonna do... My brain is not cooperating today, so I'm just gonna take the easy way out of every single problem which I get thrown at me today. Cannot convert from char to std string. What? What am I doing today? Char -1? Yes. Screw it. Didn't hash include stack. Okay, what's up this time? I got these the wrong way around, yes. I always forget what order that is. Enumerate, basically, it's kind of like enumerating Python, you know, it gives you back both the stack and both the element and the index, which is very handy. What's going on now? Cannot convert from underscore type. What is underscore type? Oh, yeah. I'm sure did I write a split which helps in some of these things? Yes. Yeah. Because there's some idiosyncrasies with std_view split, which can be a bit difficult. So I just do hash include split, and here I do split my, this expects a stream, or I can also pass a string, line on space, and does this give me back a vector? Yes, it does. Okay. Still giving me an error, but... What's going on here? What's this take? It does take a char, a string and a char. Oh, and I need to pass it what type I want at. Okay, we're getting there. I think this should be converting it to string. What's this say? Just say std string. Okay, well, it built. Let's see how we go. Hoping part 2 is not too much more on top of this. Oh, we got an exception. Phenomenal. Love to see it. And stacks -16. Well, that's not right. What does this evaluate to? Stack numbers. Oh, -2. Because there's a space in the end. Is AOC for me training in this part of working hours? Yeah, I'm like showing you folks ranges stuff and Visual Studio, all useful stuff. All right, what's going on here? Okay, so we got, how many stacks did we end up with? We did end up with 3 stacks. That's correct, and now we did something wrong. So let's stick a breakpoint here and make sure that we parsed correctly. So our stacks, we've got Zn and nothing, right? Yeah, we want to if our character is not a space, then push. Okay. All right, so we've got, this looks a bit better. Zn mcd p. Zn mcd p. Okay, looks legit. And so we just continue. Debug assertion failed. Phenomenal. Okay, so maybe we parse wrong. N is 3. Is this on our second? You know, let's step through this and make sure that we're doing the right thing. Okay, so our first line, move 1 from 2 to 1. Move 1 from 2 to 1. Am I forgetting to subtract 1 from? Yes, this needs to have 1 subtracted from it because our arrays are 0 indexed. Okay, sorry, not this one. These two. because the puzzle's using 1 indexing and we're using 0 indexing. Let's see how we go. Okay. CMZ, hooray. That was the right answer, right? CMZ, phenomenal. Okay, let's give this a shot. Maybe we'll get the right answer. Black Tomcat, speaking of VS Code, I tried switching from Vim and CLI to VS Code for Advent of Code to learn it. So much harder than expected when you're not used to it. What kind of problems are you finding? Considering doing AOC in open type fonts after reading a page on how they're true and complete. Oh my, that's a lot. Okay, well, we got an answer. It seems to have 9 characters. If this is wrong, I will. Oh, good. Okay. Part 2. As you watch the crane operator expertly arrange the crate, you notice the process isn't following your prediction. Some mud was covering the writing on the side of the crane, and you quickly wipe it away. The crane isn't a Crate Mover 9000, it's a Crate Mover 9001. Crate Mover 9001 is notable for many new and exciting features: air conditioning, leather seats, an extra cup holder, and the ability to pick up and move multiple crates at once. Okay. Again, considering the example above, the crates begin in the same configuration. Moving a crate from stack 2 to stack 1 behaves the same as before. However, the action of moving 3 crates from stack 1 to 3 means that those stay in the same order. Okay. That makes sense. Like, we could make this not use stacks, but you know what I'm gonna do? I will just, instead of just doing a top and pop and then a push, I'm gonna push this into a temporary stack and then just reverse it. I don't really want to copy paste all of this code. Maybe, you know what I'll do? I'll stick this all in a function. And call it run input. And we'll take an fstream. An iStream reference, and then we're gonna abstract this out into function. I don't know what this is gonna be called yet, but so what's this doing? This is taking set size t from set size t2 n. I want the loop as well. And I also want my stacks. Make this a type def. Okay. So this is going to be our move 9000, and then we're going to have a version called move 9001, which is going to do we'll make a temporary stack, and then we'll push these into temp. Oops. and then for or we can just do while temp is not empty, stacks to dot push temp dot top temp dot pop. So this should just do the same thing, but just reverse the items which we move. Not the best way to do it. Like, we could have refactored this to not use std stack, but I can't be bothered. So then we're just going to take a function and when we do this, we're going to call move func with stacks and from to. Did I get that the right way around? Stacks and from to, yes. And then for part one, we're going to call run input with in and move 9000. And for part two, we're going to do the same, but with 9001. Okay, let's try that. Black Tomcat saying, nothing serious, just a bit overwhelmed by the amount of choice and extension. Also immediately tried to use dev containers. Yeah, yeah, there are a lot of different extensions and things. But, oh. Yeah, there's some extension packs which you can grab, which should give you like a decent selection of the main kind of things that you should need. Let's just give this a run and see what happens. I'll be very happy if this is right and I don't have to worry about it. Oh, yay. Okay. Got it right first time. Yeah, it's not the best solution, but it works, and I'm pleased about that. So yeah, that's me for today. Hopefully tomorrow I get some more sleep and can get some better solutions. One way which would have been nice to do this is like we're walking from the end of the list upwards to parse it based on the index of these. It would have been kind of nice if we could use a transpose function and just take this entire blob of characters, transpose it, and then just drop a couple of drop the first line, then take every fourth line or something. Oh, you did a transpose and then a stride? Yeah. That's the kind of thing I was thinking would be nice, but I didn't particularly want to write a transpose function, so I didn't. But that is a nice solution. Yeah. All right. That's me for today.